Hello and welcome back to Winners and Losers, where we round up the best and the worst of Qatar 2022. Today, it's an England-USA preview ahead of the massive game tonight. I'm joined by Joe Tomlinson and, far more importantly, Belinda from Sky Sports. Belinda, welcome.
Thank you.
Belinda,
huge debut.
It is a huge debut. It's a huge game tonight. Are you excited?
Yeah, definitely. I think it will be a different kind of test to what they faced, against Iran. USA will come with energy, a young squad, fearless squad. Not really got much to lose. They kind of need to win the game to not make that last game. Leave everything on the last game. But yeah, no, it'll be good. So yeah. You guys got good plans for tonight? We do. We've got a lot of plans. Yeah, I'll be watching in North London. Very excited for it. Yes, the first half in particular will be nerve-wracking. But Joe, let's get into the meat and gravy of the show.
Yeah,
and we were talking about whether England, we've seen every team in action, and every player in action so far. Where do you rank England? Are they amongst the favourites? Are they the best team, potentially, at the World Cup?
Everybody wants me to say it, don't they? Everybody wants me to say it. I've got my England shirt on. My heart says I think England have been the best team I've seen so far. Yeah, so far at this World Cup. My head says no. I think, Brazil against much sterner opposition in Serbia last night looked extremely efficient. Their depth off the bench, the quality of the spine, obviously outrageous. So I think Brazil probably been the standouts, really, if I'm being genuinely honest. I think France looked extremely dangerous. And Spain obviously scored loads of goals, but I thought Costa Rica were probably the worst team I've seen at the World Cup so far. But England were immense. I think if it wasn't England that produced a 6-2 thumping win over Iran, who are ranked 20th in the world, people would be saying, oh my word, look how well they've started, look how confident they are. To have kept 78% of the ball, an outrageous amount of shots. I know they also conceded 8 shots as well, but also I think that was a lot to do with game state. England were flying at the time, weren't they? I think England have to, if you're being genuinely honest and you're being completely neutral, you have to say England have looked at least one of the 3 best teams at this World Cup so far.
Yeah, fair enough. And so some massive performances in that game. I think John Stones only misplaced 1 of his 117 passes. Jude Bellingham was obviously phenomenal. That a lot of pressure and press has gone towards him, of course. Bukayo Saka as well with 2 goals. Absolutely excellent display. But Belinda, as Joseph hinted at, there have been some massive performances from other teams. Do you put England as one of the best?
Yeah, because the thing is, everything that was good about that England performance, like you mentioned, there's something equivalent that we've seen as well, like, Saka getting 2 goals, Ferran Torres got 2 goals. For every Bellingham, there's a Gavi, so it's...
So are you angling towards Spain, I'm hearing?
I think you have to, if you're going to give England credit, like I say, I know you're like really going down on Costa Rica, but they did score 7, so you have to give them credit.
Yeah, you can't not.
For me, from what I watched, I thought France just looked like so good, especially that front 4, the balance of it. Mbappe would there's not much that needs to be said about Mbappe. 1.8, I think, expected goals and assists from that performance. Giroud had, I think, a similar number as well.
That's outrageous.
Literally, Mbappe went into the tournament talking about pivot gang. Well, we saw that from them 2.
Yeah.
Not to mention Dembele on the other side. So it wasn't even a pivot of them 2 because you got the best of the front 3. And then for me, Griezmann as well. Like I just love this type of player. The way he does it, like. For a player like him, every time he picks the ball up, his first thought is, I'm going to flick this on and play someone in. I'm going to turn here and feed one of the wingers in. I just love it. And I think that balance of that front 4, Tchouaméni behind as well, again, looked incredible for his age. Again, for every Bellingham and Gavi, there's a Tchouaméni as well. A bit older, obviously, but even that Kanate-Upamecano partnership, I think it can only get better. I think he went with those 2 just because of the foundation is there. They played together previously, but they can only get better. And Upamecano's passing on the ball again, perfect.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And as you say, that relationship through their time at RB Leipzig is excellent. And Griezmann, I think it's well said, well brought up, because he hasn't missed a tournament game since Euro 2012. Which is just staggering. I think I saw yesterday most chances created in the tournament as well. I think he created 6 on the night. I think Eriksen's second best with 5. So yeah, France definitely not to be underestimated.
Can they do that though against the top level side? Can they play Griezmann in that 10 space and leave Tchouaméni and Rabiot exposed against Brazil, England, Spain, who are going to dominate 70% of the ball? Like, I think Griezmann's a fabulous player and obviously amazing in the opening game, but leaves a lot to be desired defensively, leaves a lot of pressure on a player like Tchouaméni, especially when Rabiot was playing quite advanced like we saw. Can they do that against Spain, who are going to keep 70% of the ball and just run all over you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big ask. I mean, we've seen in the last couple of years, Rabiot's been mainly used in a defensive role by Juventus. It's only been in the last couple of months that we've seen more attacking flair from him, and he's probably in the form of his career, at least since his days at PSG. So he's playing really well. I do like the way that Griezmann drops into midfield. I do think he works pretty well as well. But then if you're saying, France have an unbalanced midfield, talk about Brazil, Paqueta alongside Casemiro. That's a lot of pressure on Casemiro with Neymar playing in front of them, who's now got that ankle injury, which is what I wanted to go on to next.
Yeah,
we don't know how serious that is yet. I'm sure there'll be news maybe before this video even goes live. Is that a sort of tournament ending, hopes for Brazil, or do you think they've just got so much quality that it doesn't matter in terms of their chances of winning it?
No, I think it doesn't matter in terms of their chances of winning it because, they're able to bring on players of the level of Antony, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli. Like you said, they can play Paqueta more advanced and play either Fred or Bruno Guimaraes in alongside Casemiro, can't they? So I don't think it's a massive effect for them, but what I think it is mentally he is the talisman of the squad, isn't he? And I think for the fans especially, Neymar is the go-to star that they expect things from. So when you take him out of the team, it does apply pressure to the rest of the unit. I still think they're going to be exceptional, and I'm still backing them to be the champions come the end of this, as I did in my pre-tournament predictions. But I do think it will affect them a little bit psychologically if Neymar isn't available for any more games this tournament. Although I can almost guarantee they just stick a couple injections in there and he's back on the field next game.
Fair enough. It would be a crying shame for him, given the form he's been in for PSG this season, if he's not able to do it on the biggest stage. I think we're also getting a little bit ahead of ourselves and we're ruling out Argentina. I think that is a potential mistake. Like, the rest of their group don't look great. I didn't think Mexico and Poland were particularly strong or effective in that game as well. Their next games against Mexico, they've got a phenomenal record against them. I think they've won 8 of their last 9 games against them. Poland still not really doing it on a major stage as well. Lewandowski still without a major tournament goal, which is just a ridiculous statistic. So yeah, we'll see from them. And then that game for Germany, Spain on Sunday as well. That'll be massive. But let's get back to England, Belinda. USA, had a great first half against Wales, but Wales did really come back into the game in that second half. Who do you see as the sort of player that England should be most wary of?
I think it's the kind of the front three and the movement of the front three. They played that first half that was so good from USA was because they pressed, but they pressed so high and so narrow, and so off the ball they were a real threat and able to kind of pin back that sort of back five from Wales. But as well on the ball, you've got Weah, who's right wing, scoring a goal in a centre forward's position. Those runs are tricky, and their back four need to be switched on to be able to track this. You had Neco Williams scrambling back for that goal, so I think it's that front three unit. But then, having said that, that's not to say that USA's back two can't be really gotten at, and especially because those wing backs are going to fly up the pitch, and there will be space there for Saka if he plays, and Sterling on the other side to really attack into, and maybe even for the fullbacks to get up themselves. So there's definitely space and chance for England to exploit there. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Joe, there was quite a lot of chat after the game that the US coach made a bit of an error in not putting on Gio Reyna at any point. We've seen him for Dortmund over the last couple of seasons be absolutely spectacular at points when he's been fit. Do you think he could have a factor in this game?
Potentially, but this is the USA down to a T, isn't it? And this is the reason a lot of fans want the coach sacked, because he is a very pragmatic, very negative manager. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gio Reyna start this game, but I totally agree with Belinda. I think there's going to be massive spaces in those wide areas, and our fullbacks are extremely dangerous. Luke Shaw's got 5 goal involvements in the last 5 England games at international tournaments. I think that they cannot afford to give the room they gave to Neco Williams to Luke Shaw on that left-hand side. They press super narrow, and if you can beat that press from the first or second phase, be it through a designed set piece, a designed throw-in, maybe Mason Mount dropping a little bit deeper, I think England have real joy up against that backline. And I also think set pieces are going to have a massive effect on this one. Harry Maguire looked extremely dangerous, didn't he, against Iran from set pieces. And I think England's design at those set pieces has been almost perfection over the last 2 tournaments. So I expect a set piece goal tonight.
Yeah, absolutely massive. And it will be a major ask for Tim Ream at the back as well. I didn't think his centre-back partner Zimmerman looked particularly good against Wales. Gave away that penalty quite sloppily as well. Plays for Nashville as well, so has never really come up against this sort of calibre of opposition, I should say. Tim Ream been monstrous for Fulham this season. Didn't really think he had it in him, to be totally honest. But he's been great. He needs the game of his life, I think, to keep Kane coming back from an ankle scare, quiet. Belinda, before we wrap up, quick score prediction. You've got to put your money where your mouth is.
I think USA can score. I think they can score against this England back four. but England will have too much quality going forward, so 3-1.
3-1. That seems like a solid bet, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say the same, to be honest with you, but I will mix it up. I think it might be a little bit tighter than the first game. I'll go 2-1.
2 great predictions for the soccer tonight. Personally, guys, I'm thinking it's going to be 2-0, which I will 100% take right now. Guys, what do you think the score is going to be if you're England fans? Let us know in the comments down below. Do you think England can win the World Cup and can be considered amongst the favourites? Let us know in the comments as well. If not, why not? And guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you later on. Goodbye.